Hi, good afternoon. This is Christine Geiger, and I'm here with Mel Carmine, and we are talking about an exciting new movie that I am excited to have come out. It's called Dear Mr. President, and it is about censorship. So I'd like to welcome Mel on today. Mel, would you like to tell us a little bit about the movie and
Well,
what prompted you?
it is almost in its completion stage. I'm literally sitting at the edge of my seat here waiting for the final copy. And hopefully there's no more tweaks after this one, maybe one or two. But I think that we are days away. I think by the end of this week we should be able to call at least all the independent movie theaters, all the health centers, the centers that are showing the movie at their scale of wave technology, which is the same technology we have here in Cape Canaveral. It's staying alive. We'll be showing the movie on at our location on the 6th. No, I'm sorry, in the 7th. On the 6th, I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to be at Terra Quantum Recharge Biz, and they're showing the movie on the 6th. So I got to fly. I got to fly in the morning, go for the movie, come back on the 6th the same night, and then I'll have a movie here on the 7th. So it's going to be a pretty busy travel schedule coming ahead. But we got about 22 healing centers that have the same technology here in Cape Canaveral that we have, Amber and I have, that are going to be showing the movie. So it's going to be exciting.
That is exciting. I thought that's a really neat concept for showing the movie. People are able to watch it in an environment that's dual purpose. It's, not only comfortable, but it's helping their body heal. Um, so how long ago was it when the idea came to you to do the movie?
3 days after Donald Trump got elected, literally.
Oh, okay. So you must have been also paying attention to his executive orders and
Yes. Yeah.
so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
what are you hoping the movie accomplishes? Like, do you have plans for Donald Trump himself to see the movie or
Well, we know that we could get the movie to him. Whether he watches part of it or some of it or all of it
mhm.
remains to be seen. I heard that he's not the kind of guy that could sit down and watch something for an hour and a half, which is how long the movie's going to be, unless it is literally going to grab him. But I did put some of his favorite music in the background because I understand he likes 1960s rock and roll, classic
Yeah.
rock, etc. And so I put that there purposely so that I may be able to hold him down a little longer, you know. So we'll see what
Right,
happens.
right.
But I think the movie's well done. I think the movie's going to be a major hit. I know a lot of the bigger podcasters didn't want to take a chance on Mel Carmine. I guess I am the new guy in the arena, and they're not sure whether I know what I'm doing, etc. And I understand the nervousness of it all. Believe me, there's nobody more nervous than I am right now. I'm literally, I'm like popping out of my skin. Can't wait for this thing to come out and see how the crowd reacts, how the podcasters react. But we did get a couple of big guys. I mean, Nino Rodriguez was able to send in his little 39-second piece. I got
Yeah.
Gary Frenchie from the Next News Network. He sent in his piece. We got it in the movie already. We found a couple of pieces on Ted Nugent. We were able to use one of them with Joe Rogan. That's
Hmm.
very impactful. We got quite a few big boys, including Patrick Bet David from PBD. He's going to be featured a couple of times, etc. So yeah, no, I think it's well done. The story flows well. I think what we want to accomplish is literally no speed bumps on the road, a level
Yeah.
playing field to where we
Yeah.
can speak. We want the audience to decide that if Christine is good enough to grow to 1 million followers, then she should be able to hit that number because the audience says so, not the algorithms.
Right.
Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I know, like, my participation comes from a place of I'm actually facing legal uh, backlash
Hmm.
for what I posted online. Are most of the participants, are they just people that have been censored through, by their podcast or their channels and media? Or are there other people like myself that not only have been censored and suppressed, but are facing legal backlash? Um, as a result of the First Amendment not being applied for what they said.
Well, it's funny you say that because the actual first video of the movie the guy talks about that, not only could you be censored or shut down, but you could actually be sued. Those are
Yeah.
his words. So that's how the movie actually opens up. So it's wild that somebody in our movie is going to actually you're going through a lawsuit. But
Yeah, but
look, the bottom line is there's an agenda here. These communist people, these communist overlords, whatever you want to call them, have infiltrated every aspect of our life. They're in our police department, they're in our schooling system, they're at your local city hall, they're in big government, they're in your county government, they're everywhere. There's
yeah.
nowhere. They own all of the media companies, they own all of the social media companies, and we're screwed unless we fight back. So here we are. I
Exactly.
mean, we have to fight back.
Well,
And
I hope it's a call to action for those that watch it, and that they will think to themselves, how can I help? How
yeah,
can I speak out? How can I, fight for the First Amendment and help people that are going through it? When The Sound of Freedom, when that movie came out, the way that they released that was unconventional. Is that a little bit of the path I mean, did you look at their strategy for getting their movie out in order to plan your strategy?
yeah. Well, we have a team of about 18 or 20 volunteers. We got a team of editors, etc. But we literally hit a lot of brick walls in getting press releases out. It seems that every press release out is connected to this one called IENnewswire.com. And they're all juiced into the Communist Manifesto movement through Google. So if you look up for a press release company, for example, these are the first ones that come, and you send in your press release, and it will get rejected if it's got to do with something like lifting, this fight on freedom of speech. So we would get our money back. We would, send in a press release to another company, same thing, over and over. This has happened for months now, and I think we got one press release out. If we're lucky, we're going to get a second one and a third one out. But the ones that have the larger distributions, you can't get to them because they're all connected at the top, and they're all part of the Socialist Manifesto, this fascist, whatever you want to call it. But look at the kids. Look at the way they talk. Look at the way they think. Look at the way they want everything to be a handout. They brainwashed our kids to think that communism is a good thing.
Oh yeah. And there's a whole movement in the 20 something, 30 something range where, when their parents finally take a stand and stop giving them everything and paying for everything, they turn on them.
Yeah,
And it's absolutely, you can raise your kids to be as independent and hardworking as you tried for them to be, but the counterbalance of that with society and the messaging that society has programmed them with, it's a real difficult challenge for many parents.
yeah, it definitely is. So the car has fallen off the cliff. I mean, we're just waiting for
Yes.
the parachutes to deploy, and hopefully it's not going to be too big of a crash landing. But the facts are, they thought America was going to be an easy, push over the domino kind of thing, and we're going to take over the whole world because if this country goes into communism, the rest of the world doesn't stand a chance.
Oh,
That's a fact,
exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And so
Um, yeah.
everybody around the world is begging for us not to give up this fight because they understand what's at stake. They know that
Mhm.
if the bad guys win, the tanks will be rolling in the streets within minutes, literally.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Will the movie be aired on, like Rumble channels, or will you have it links and things for that?
Yeah, we're gonna do it on Rumble. We're gonna try to put it on YouTube. I might get a strike in I might get a week vacation where I can not upload anything on my YouTube channel. That's a possibility. I know we're gonna get copyright strikes because we got all kinds of music in the background. Um, but I'm willing to. I have a clean channel.
Yeah.
I don't have any, so I'm willing to roll with it and see what happens.
I have a clean
Um,
channel too, so I'd be happy to
yeah,
restream it on mine for you too.
yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually. I'm glad you said that. We're actually going to stream it through all the channels on day one, which is September 9th, which is at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we got to
Hmm.
figure out how to do that. So we don't have a blueprint for that yet.
Right.
Hopefully by the end of this week we will. I know Bruce Poppy is helping us with that.
Yeah.
And we got Ron Partain as well. My wife was very technical in nature, and hopefully we'll figure it out where we can have 100 or maybe hopefully even 1,000 podcasters streaming it live for an entire 24-hour period where it just replays, and when it's over, it replays again off of
That would
our
be
stream.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Um, something that the people, everyone that watches it that feels moved to help propel it and get it out to as many people as possible. Something that the viewers can do is, they can share that link in the comments on big posts on, X, for example, or other platforms, just dropping that link for the movie will promote it to people that are reviewing that post or the comments. Um, and if everyone, I mean, if you have everybody drop it at least once, imagine how many people that can reach.
oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is, we've found that with a lot of the disasters and the tragedies and things that have happened in this country over the last year, the hurricanes, the fires, who are the people that have responded first? Not the government.
Yeah, of course.
It's we the people. And
Yeah,
so we the people are the ones that will make the change. And it's
yeah,
really nice that you have put this together so that we have a tool to do that.
yeah. Can you see my screen?
I did for a minute. Yep, now I can.
Okay, perfect. Let me know if that plays.
Yes.
Dear Mr. President.
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 Dear Mr. President, when did freedom of speech become a crime? In the land of the free, voices are vanishing, opinions are policed, truth is under fire. They say it's about safety, I say it's about silence. Who's watching the watchmen? Who's filtering your feed? Who benefits from your silence? From the classroom to the newsroom, from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C., who decides what you can say?
Censorship.
Censorship. Censorship.
The censorship. Censorship. It's a much bigger threat to democracy than anything that we've seen in this country in the last 4 years, in the last 40 years.
Our First Amendment is under assault, not just by big tech, but by government agencies. Voices are being silenced.
A world without censorship would mean we can freely expose the elections and, of course, child trafficking. I believe the American spirit would kick in if they had access to the real information.
We've had channels taken down from nearly every form of social media. We knew when you uttered the term fake news that you were up to something different. We're honored to contribute to this documentary on censorship.
I have only one thing to ask. I just only want to see some accountability from somebody. Just pull that pin and throw that grenade already, buddy. That's all every American wants to see, is just some accountability for the crimes against us all. Thank you, sir, and long live the Republic.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Look, at the end of the day, I could tell you emphatically that the documentary itself is 100 times more powerful than the actual trailer that we just played. But
Well, the trailer's pretty powerful.
yeah, I'm telling you, it's a lot more powerful.
I'm very excited to watch it
Yeah.
and share it and share it and share it and share it.
Well, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the American people to stand up because we're not only the ones being censored; they're being censored. And once if the bad guys were to win, they're going to come for you and I because we're out in the open. Okay, they know they know where we are, they know where we live, they know everything about us.
Yeah.
So we're easy. We're like the low hanging fruit. And after that, they're going to come on. They're going to go after the American people and their kids. Yeah, it's going to be it would be a bloodbath, but I don't think we're going to get there. As I think Donald Trump is restoring the republic slowly but surely. I think you're going to get to a point where you're going to get some of that straw man money back. I believe there'll be a point where licenses for non-commercial use are going to be a thing of the past, and registration and insurance and all that kind of stuff. Besides, we should have a flying car. We should be graduating from the extension of a Model T Ford already. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
be able to fly anywhere on Earth in minutes
Yeah.
or less than an hour. And that's coming. Free energy technology is coming. Clean food is coming. Chemtrails are going to be a thing of the past. People's libido is going to be increased because the food is right. You know, the air is
Hmm.
right. The trace minerals are back in the dirt, etc. A lot of things are going to change. Is he going to be able to fix it all in 4 years? I don't believe so. I
Right.
believe it's really important that we get a guy like Eric Trump, and I believe Laura Trump, his wife, is absolutely prime to be the first lady. To be quite honest with you, I think she's groomed to be that.
I
Uh,
do too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's done a lot in the 4 years that she's, been in the spotlight. And maybe not quite 4 years, but it feels like it's been, that amount of time. It's, some of us are already doing things to correct our status and standing, put the government on notice that they no longer are able to traffic us and use our straw man. We're taking back ownership and control of all parts of our life,
Yeah.
filing the proper paperwork. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of people out there for the last, 15, 20 years that have tried to capitalize on that and make money from that. I'm very happy to say that some associates and we've done the process, we've done the paperwork, and we've uploaded it to Scribed, and we're not charging anybody anything to do this for themselves. We just have to get the word out there that the information is unscribed and that they can use our information and duplicate it for themselves and set themselves free.
Are you off the grid?
I'm not off the grid, but I kind of am
Okay.
because I've done some things I'm in that process of doing it. I've simplified my life. No home ownership, no public utilities. Um, and I'm just following the path right now of setting aside my life in order to work on this campaign for Lewis Herms for the governor of California. If we fix California, we're on our way to fixing the entire U.S. I
Yeah.
think we have the power and the ability to start a movement. And I think we're on our way. Lewis is the We the People candidate, and that's what we've been waiting for.
Well, imagine Louis Herms going and making his rounds like he's doing right now on all these big popular shows.
Hmm.
All these guys who have 200, 250, 300,000, 500,000. Fernino Rodriguez. Imagine if these microphones were completely unclogged. Imagine if the Nino
Yeah.
Rodriguez's were not 500,000 but 5 million or ten
Yeah.
million. Imagine if the guys like Gary Frenchie, who started his network about maybe a year after Alex Jones. He's been here for a long, long time. And he's been on. I think he's been on YouTube maybe 6 months after it actually was created.
Hmm.
Okay, so and he's stuck at 2,250,000 subscribers in 20 something years. He should be much, much bigger than that by a factor of
And
10,
right.
right?
Well, I mean, some of them I think are. I think that there are some channels and some podcasters and influencers that we don't really know what their reach is because the numbers are manipulated.
Huge
We've watched the numbers get manipulated on
in
Screw
real
Big
time.
Gov's channel in real time.
Yeah,
Exactly. And so, they have a bigger reach than what the numbers show for many of these people. Um, and the platforms, they like to try to toy with people's egos. They like to try to mess with their heads and, make them think that uh, their efforts aren't working. And one way that they do it is by keeping their numbers suppressed.
yeah. Well, think how much of a easier time Louis Herms would have in getting elected if everybody was allowed to be as big as they should be because the people said so, not the
Yeah.
algorithms.
Well, and look at how many channels some of these people have had that, they had very, very large followings on their original channels, and then they get shut down and they have to
Sure.
start over.
Yeah.
And and then the numbers are suppressed and messed with and manipulated. So I think it's a test to somebody's perseverance when they ignore that and they just keep pushing forward.
Right.
And those are the people that are on the mission and answering the calling that they have,
Right.
because they're able to resist the outside factors that would normally take down a regular person who maybe doesn't have their heart all the way in it.
Yeah. Well, look at the level of fight that they're putting up just in this, transference of wealth.
Right.
Look at what you mean. This guy Powell, he won't lower the interest rates, which is messing around with our cryptocurrency and our housing market and inflation. You understand? So there's a lot of bad actors that are still in play. Now, this guy doesn't think he can get fired. I think Trump should get the military and just say, dude, you're no longer here. As a matter of fact, we're not paying your $37 trillion that we owe you in money that you guys printed out of thin air that's worth nothing. It's got no value. You guys bamboozled us. You robbed us. Now we're telling you to go F off. Simple,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It is. Yeah.
And I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to go Brooklyn on them, to be quite honest with you. I think
Um,
that's what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to pay back. He's not going to pay $37 trillion to these gangsters.
No, no, he's not. He is not easily manipulated, or they can't corrupt him. They,
Right.
he and throughout Trump's rallies that he was doing for 2 years prior to even really heavily campaigning the way he was, what his message all the time was that he was doing this to protect us,
Yeah.
because if they if he wasn't there to be the target, then they go directly for we the people. So he is always, even from his inauguration in 2016, or when he was elected in 2016, in that January, he told us he was giving it back to we the people.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of people didn't really understand what he meant by that, and they have just kind of sat back and waited for him to do it all. But I think in during that time that we had to endure, the Biden regime, a lot of people woke up and realized that, okay, when he's giving it back to us, that means we can't just sit on our couches and wait and see. It means we have
Exactly.
to get active. And
Yeah.
General Flynn's message,
Totally.
General Flynn has a great message for people. Start local.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good news is that we have good news and then we have good news. The good news is that Donald Trump doesn't have a choice to kill his predecessors, because his enemies, because the reality is that if he doesn't, they're going to come kill him
Right.
and his entire family. So the
Yeah.
good news is that he's going to do it.
Yeah,
That's the good news.
he has a lot of incentive and a lot of motivation to keep going and not to give up and not to surrender
How
to
quickly
them.
will they destroy his family if Obama is still alive in 2028 and Hillary Clinton is still alive in 2028? How fast will they come and arrest the entire family? It won't take but an hour.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah.
He knows that.
Yes.
I don't think he needs you and I to explain that to him.
No,
He's a
no,
sharp cookie. So,
no. And I mean, and we are seeing signs that it is very possible that Obama might be the first arrest. I mean, they're going after him,
yeah, well, they
publicly.
need to. They
They need
have the
to.
goods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the
Yeah.
goods. The
They're
American people want to see it now.
the American people are ready for some accountability. They're
Yeah.
ready for some action. We cannot keep just brushing things under the rug and moving on to different new things in the news cycles. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure, chatting with you about the movie.
Yes.
The movie's coming out, guys. Don't forget, Dear Mr. President .net, not .com. Dear Mr. President.net. There's a donate button there. There's also an opt-in. You want to be one of the first ones to be notified that the movie's coming out. Do that. If you happen to be in Cape Canaveral and you want to get charged at Staying Alive, alive with two E's at the end,
Okay.
go check it out. And also, if you need a lot of XRP, 786, text me 786 704 8817. Do not call me to chit chat. I love socializing. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't have the time for it. It's strictly for
Right.
business.
Lots of people
786
to help.
yeah, 786-704-8817 XRP, in my opinion, not financial advice, will be the final Bitcoin. Get some. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. You have a great afternoon, and I wish you all the best on the movie, and I'm going to do everything I can do to help promote it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.